All aboard, welcome aboard. It is How Not to Game with Cali Jack time. And we're back to the pretty version of Simutrans finally. Uh, I'm looking at the finances for our company and it's getting worse. So Calico Cartage and Rails is losing too much money. With a negative net wealth, I'm ready to throw in the pole, but at the same time, I'm not. What I'm ready to do is to start a new company and then turn off the bloody free play and see if it'll let me restart a company. So what we're going to do is try that. I've already created the new company. We get $500,000 starting cash, which is just incredible. Incredible. I've got to figure out what was wrong there. That's going to make this company actually very easy to take and function compared to the previous one. Now, as you can see by the name, I chose Inland Valley and Coastal. And the area we're kind of looking at is we're going to go south of Calico's up here on the north edge of the map. We're going to take this Inland Valley and this coastal region. And we're going to start with just the valley and the coastal. The biggest thing we're going to try to serve initially is going to be this oil-fired power plant. And if I slur occasionally or something like that, it's due to the swellings from my allergies today. I've got a swollen eye and not a swollen tongue or anything, but I did stop taking the allergy medication because the side effects were nastier. Nothing personal. Could use less of those urgent dash modes. All right, so first things first, we're going to start the new company. And the first thing I was kind of looking at for the new company was doing an oil line. So we're going to turn off everything, get our rail construction tools set to the right spots, close out that. We are on trees off. We can turn trees back on for a little bit here. Yeah, no, we need to be able to see what we're doing, and we need to have grid lines on so that I can kind of see what I'm up against. Now, one thing I am going to do is I'm going to build my initial. Oops, no, not there. This is our initial line. And then this is the spur terminus. But I've decided to go with a true loading siding for now. Actually, you know what? I don't like that either. Let's go ahead and do this a different way. We're actually going to build a siding over here. There we go. And then start laying that rail. Kind of start bending him this way, because where's that oil fire power plant? All the way over there at Slough. So it's a ways to go. And with these early trains we're going to have, there we go. There's a good spot right there, and it lines up for a decent crossing point. Now we do need to do and remember that we have to do a slightly different setup here. This is the one where the clearances matter. So we're going to build back a little bit like this. And then do the slope up there, a slope up there. Give ourselves the 2 full slopes, both directions, for the bridge. And then the off ramp here. Okay, build our bridge. $26 a month versus $22 a month. We're just going to go with the 26. I think I can live with an iron bridge. There we go. Not certain I can live with that color, but we'll deal with it for later. Get our 60-mile-an-hour rail, connect back up, come on down on this side and start our bend. As you notice, I'm trying to stay in places so that I can build sidings down the road to service some of this stuff. And then our eventual goal is right here. So we're going to take and build our goal, build out our first rail to service him. Now we got a coaling station and a simple platform is all we have initially. So we're going to take simple platform initially, make it a 4 so it can hold more. He's going to cross right about there. Go ahead and extend him somewhat like that, and then he connects up like this. Okay. Come back to here. We're going to build a, again, 4 platform, 4 tile platform. And then we will rename things. Primary crude. And these aren't yards, these are sidings, because there's really just, a loading area. And this one, because he goes around, is actually a spur siding. And the one down at the other end, on the other hand, let's do this the right way, is going to be our, let's get it going here. this is the slough public. And that's the sightings for the Slough Public Power District. And now we can get our one train rolling that we're going to do early on. And we're going to see how much we can make first before we really expand. Now, one thing to realize is that a lot of these coal mines are going to glass mills like up here. Hi. Just a minute here. No. Stop doing things like that. Tell it the game is non-interruptible and everything still interrupts it. So we kind of want to show the factory lines. There we go. So that one goes to there, that one goes to there, that one goes to that one up there by the power plant. These all go off in the other direction. So I have a dairy and a dairy, or two cattle yards that feed into the dairy at Cardiff that we will eventually be running to, and this glass mill goes into Cardiff. So we will probably build a spur line here early on that we're going to have to snake down the valley. And the reason we're going to do these snakes and such is because that's the way things go. And really, I might just do it sort of like this. And then build a line that'll service these guys in. So, I know that the oil is going to be a good financial one here for us. So let's start with our oil. Get ourselves a spur line built, and we're going to do this off of a siding style. So this is going to be a true siding style dispatch. So we're going to grab the old semaphore signals. And then this guy gets signaling, but the other one does not. So dispatch will never interfere with what we're putting on the rails. Now I am thinking about double lining right out afterwards when we start putting out more than one train. But for right now, I want to see how much money we can make. Now we know that the chippy is probably our best bet. That's our oil car. How many of those can we tow? That's about right. Okay, I can live with that. Open him up, go back over here to Slough to the power plant. That's where he's delivering at. And this is the IVCR R or IBCT. Primary slew oiler. No, that's Wheeler. We're not saying yes to everything. There we go. Get him going. And again, the reason we had to build the bridge up is clearances. We are required, not optional, required to leave navigable waterway stretches as navigable. We cannot block them. I wish it wouldn't let you destroy them, because that would be even better. And then down the road, we'll do the smoothings to tie it in after I decide which side I'm going to run my secondary rail, if this ever becomes a double line main line here, which the plan is. The plan is, because this will tie in right here to Chesterfield, where we're going to make a rail station somewhere in here, probably right here, a terminus, and then run a rail for passengers over to Cardiff, because these are both fairly big cities. What do you mean? I've got a break in the line. Wonderful. Okay. Time to do line break check. Probably at the bridge. It's my guess. That's my favorite spot to make that mistake. It is much harder in this version of the game to find these breaks. Close that out. Make certain that it's good across the bridge. Yeah. No, that's not that. There it is. You can see him just right above my cursor, kind of. Whoops. Above and to the right of my cursor. You see that gray blockage on the line? That's the two end pieces. I wish they'd stayed red. We're still going to keep checking, because it'll take a few minutes for Chippy to figure that out. And he's moving. So now it's down to how much is the train going to make us, and how much cash flow is it going to be negative. And I'm kind of going slow with the new company, you'll notice. Not going overboard like I did with Calico. Calico, I might just try to take and see if we can salvage. I mean, if somebody leaves me a comment and says, yo, try to take and recover Calico, we're going to try to recover Calico. If more people say comments, no, let him sink, I'm letting them sink. If nobody comments, I will see if letting them sink destroys the game or not. Actually, I'll flip a coin. I think I got a penny somewhere I can flip. Well, we're doing fair. Let's checking our op costs. Not bad, not bad. I mean, 100, 200. Our total at 84. Let's see what that's going to get us. Be nice if we had tiles traveled so that we could start calculating some of this stuff. Come here. You. Don't need to see the chart. I'm more after the financial data on the top right now. So oil is 11.5 cents. Call it 11.7 cents per tile. At $1.12 a kilometer, I'm pulling 84 of those. I think I should be making plenty of money. I can't remember what I worked out, whether it was 6 or what. 100 kilometers an hour is 640 tiles traveled in a month. That's why I wish, if you're going to do these kind of things, you need to give us the way to correlate things. Because our distance is in kilometers. We did 78 last month, just on the dispatch, I think. Hi. Close some bars here. Just passing a halfway point. And you know what? That's a good spot to take and drop a sign. Halfway call out. Getting closer. We're back up into the green stuff and then back out into the desert. 3/4 of the way there. Goods list, I don't need you. Constant. Don't need the signage at the moment. Right now, our income on the line is 225. Plus, we've got about 1,068 per month of maintenance to kick, and it's about a 3-month trip. It's looking like, and that's one way. So we are going to need a second train on this to make a profit. I have a feeling, which means sightings, which increases that 1,068 a month maintenance fee. And we still got to overcome the new vehicles and construction costs over time. Let's give it a little speed. What are we thinking? 1,000? 800? It was 1985, so 2,000 bucks. I think we're going to make a profit on this line. We will see. Matter of fact, I'm going to go high-speed run for a little bit here on inland. Profit. That's going to be the main one. What is our up prof? Can we do the run in a month? We seem to be able or close to be able. Does look like this month's going to be a loser. But for the year, right now, our op prof is big on the suckage. We need at least one more full round trip, and I don't think we'll get it for the first year. But we'll see where we're at. And if we can project, yeah, we're not going to get it before the first. We lost $844 on this venture so far, but that was with, some downtime there. Let's take a look at our monthlies, and it's up prof. And operational profit, we are showing 2 months down, 4 months up. The down is excessive, and that's because of construction, I think. Initial dispatch. Now, we are getting close this year to being able to have buses. I did check, and there is a bus now that we will be able to get, the Praga, in June. So, in about 5 months, 4 months, depending upon when in June, whether they give it to you at the beginning, the end, or the middle, we'll get that Praga bus. And this is the establishment of the new company in the Pak128 First Honest Try game sessions in Simutrans. Pak128, the pretty version of the game. And I have no clue because I didn't look. Gotta reset my card. I gotta leave out a card because I'll be posting later today an episode. Fix it. UT Chaos. Pak128 game. Does appear that for Pak128, we are on episode 22. So, I hope you're enjoying these. Hope we can see what we can do. We're going to see how much of the things I do in the other game are doable. The one thing I did notice is it took me a while to figure it out. They call it a private barrier, not, in the game, and that's what keeps throwing me off. I'm looking for, an inner line connector control or whatever. But that privacy barrier works the same way as the control gate that we showed in the tutorial game. So treat this as sort of our tutorial on how not to, over here, play Simutrans. Though I seem to be looking at holding up. Op Prof's still holding up this month. February is going to be the tough month. I always know because it's a short month, and this is a long line. So I need to look at what my production is, what my sit is, how fast that's regenerating. If it's regenerating fast, we're going to take a peek. So we'll hold for just a few more minutes because we're almost there. We're going to go ahead and close out our lists, close out the financial or the rail window. And we didn't need to know about the airplane because the odds of me running an airplane in this game are pretty low, but I might. All the rail cars for passengers have come back into the map. We are backing out just a little bit, turning back on the trees because they're pretty. There are people who like to see the trees. We're going to close that out because right now, with the one line, we're going to pretty much know, other than our may not cost. So the question is, how fast is the... It's already fully reloaded. You know what? We can, and will next episode, do... excuse me. Downside to the allergies is I do get a cough with them. We will do sightings and a second training. All right. I'm Kelly Jack. Have a better day than I'm having, especially if you suffer from allergies.